While the sun is rising here, I thought I would just mention why, or some points, why meditation is important. Meditation can help us with our health, it can help us with our relationships, it can help us with effectiveness and efficiency, and with helping us be creative. There are actually many benefits that come from meditation. First, it's important, I think, that we understand what is meditation doing. It's helping us to become aware of what's going on in our mind and to start training our mind. Our mind really is so important. In this life of ours, there's two things that are with us from the beginning to the end. The one is our body, and the second is our mind. And our mind is even with us in future lives and previous lives as well. So I would say mind is even more important than body. However, if we just apply it to this life, our mind is going to be there wherever we go, and it's going to be affecting us. Now, we look after our body. There's a lot in this world that describes to us how to be healthy, what to eat, how to look good. And this is all to do with our external world, with our physical appearance. But what about our mind? How often are we taught about our mind and how important our mind is and how it affects us? Now, if we think about it, if we've had something to eat, if we've had enough sleep, and we've got clothes to wear, generally our body is satisfied. Unless, of course, we're very sick, sometimes we feel uncomfortable or unhealthy, but most of the time, once our body's needs are satisfied, we don't really notice our body too much. Where's most of what's happening in our day going on? It's going on in our mind. What are we thinking? How do we feel? All of these are affected by our mind. And how many thoughts do we have during the day, when we go to work, when we go to study, when we go to school? All of this is happening within our mind. And if our mind is happy, we feel relaxed and happy. But if our mind is feeling unhappy, then it affects us during the day. If we think about it, look at all the rich people in the world. How many of them are happy and how many of them are unhappy? We hear of happy, rich people, but we also hear of unhappy, rich people, wealthy people, famous people. You hear of famous stars being depressed, drug abuse, alcohol abuse, not being happy, sometimes committing suicide. So although they have the fame and the wealth, they still are not happy. And you go to places like Africa, where there's many poor people, some of them are unhappy. However, many of them are quite happy, or are happy. What do we see from this example? Is that if money and wealth and status made us happy, all rich people would be very happy, so happy, and the more you had, the happier you would be, and all the poor people would be unhappy. This is just not the case. Why? Because happiness and unhappiness is really to do with what's going on within ourselves, not the external world, not what we have financially or materially. It might have a small influence. A similar example is we may have everything that we need materially. We may go to a most incredible holiday place, incredible hotel, good food, beautiful view, good people with us, nice music. Everything there is just wonderful. However, if our mind is unhappy, we're unhappy about something, no matter how great the surroundings are, we're still unhappy. And if our mind is unhappy, even although everything is so wonderful, we still start finding reasons to be unhappy. This is wrong, that is wrong. This is not beautiful enough. This hasn't been organized properly enough. Is it the physical, the external world that is creating this unhappiness? No, everything is really great there. What's causing our unhappiness is the way we feel, our state of mind. We work so hard and we learn so much about the external world, and we want to change it according to what's going to make us happy. However, it's very difficult to change the world. It's very difficult to change everybody else, but what we can do is change ourselves. And what hurts us the most? Is it other people, or is it our own mind, our own state of mind? Let's say we have an argument with somebody. Somebody picks on us, somebody fights with us, somebody shouts at us, maybe for 10 minutes, for 15 minutes, and it's really quite intense. And they say some things that really are hurtful, or we feel very upset about. And after that 10 or 15 minutes, they go, or we go. But that unhappiness doesn't stop there. They're no longer hurting us. They're no longer saying horrible things to us. But our mind carries on. Our mind carries on working. We're thinking about it. Why did this person say this to me? I didn't deserve that. Life is so unfair. How did this come about? Who does that person think they're talking to? When I see them, I'm going to say this or that. What's happening? Our mind is continuing the whole scenario. And for how long? 1 hour, 2 hours, a day, a week, a year, a lifetime. Some people won't forget what people have said for a lifetime. They'll hold it against the people. So what do we see? Our mind carries on working, and this keeps on hurting us, making us unhappy, uncomfortable, angry. So while our discourse with the other person, our argument, hurt for 10 or 15 minutes, our mind carries on hurting us for a long time afterwards. And how often does the way we think hurt us? How often do we put ourselves down? How often do we judge ourselves, criticize ourselves? How often do we consider ourselves unworthy? Who punishes us the most? Other people, or what we think about ourselves? So we rarely see the effect of our mind. So we can't change everybody else. We can't change every situation, every external situation. It's very difficult to change other people. But what we can do is we can change ourselves. And when we change ourselves, the world around us also starts to change. Take, for example, maybe somebody that goes to anger management. They're very angry, often angry. And as a result, the people around them are unhappy or defensive, or they fight back, or they argue back very quickly, or they find themselves becoming very lonely because of their anger. Their only friend is their anger. People say, let's go for a cup of coffee, and everybody knows, sorry, we're busy. And then they start changing this anger, and they really reduce their anger. And as a result, they start seeing, wow, everybody's so much nicer to me. Everybody's much more relaxed around me. They feel more comfortable around me. They don't talk back to me so quickly, argue with me so quickly. Everybody else is changing. I wonder what's happened. But in reality, is it that everybody else has changed? Or is it because they've changed? See, they change. And then everybody else feels better around them. So when we change ourselves, we see that our world around us starts to change as well. And where does this start? This starts just by simply becoming aware of what's going on in our mind. And when we're aware of what's going on in our mind, we have the ability to transform it. Or we can say, I don't have to accept these thoughts. I can let them go. And the sooner we notice this, we're aware of that these negative thoughts or these unhappy thoughts are arising, the sooner we have the opportunity to transform them or let them go. When they become very strong, it's very difficult to transform them once they've really built up momentum and energy. But when they're just arising, we have that awareness, and then we transform it, we let it go. So this is the benefit of meditation. So simple, yet it has incredible benefit. We all want to be free. We want to buy what we want to say what we want to go where we want. This is all the external world, the material world. However, how many people are free within their own minds? How many people are the master of their own thoughts? How many people are the slaves or mastered by their own thoughts? Whenever a thought arises, off they go following that thought, following this habit, following that habit. So they're not actually free. Maybe externally they're free in the material world, but internally, how much freedom do they have? How much are they controlled by their own emotions and their own way of thinking? And so this really, meditation can really help us as well, becoming aware of those thoughts, becoming the master of our own thoughts and how we feel. And through this, we start to get to know ourselves. We start to get to know our mind. If we don't know our own mind, do we really know ourselves? So to know our mind is very, very important. And then also having the ability to transform our mind, to control our mind, to master our mind and our thoughts. And in addition as well, so much of what is happening, our experiences, are to do with our own perception, not necessarily to do with the external world. For instance, chocolate cake. For some people, chocolate cake is so delicious. How wonderful. Chocolate cake, I'm so happy. To another person, they absolutely don't like chocolate cake. Another person, oh, it's chocolate cake. My favorite, but I'm on diet, I won't have any. Another person, chocolate cake, I'm on diet. Oh no, let me have one piece. And then they have 2 pieces, they have 3 pieces, and then they feel terrible. I broke my diet. And another person, chocolate cake, how wonderful. I'm so happy, and I wish everybody in the world could be as lucky as me today. For some people, they wouldn't even notice chocolate cake. Chocolate cake, that chocolate cake is the same. But many different people can have a different perception of chocolate cake. Some of them like it, some of them don't. So the chocolate cake is the same, but our perception is different. So the same in life as well. If we're watching our mind, things may occur, and we may consider them to be problems or opportunities. Where's the difference? Is in our own state of mind. How do we get to watch what's going on in our own mind? Slowly, by becoming aware of our own awareness, this quality that's inherent in our own mind, in everybody's mind. And we develop that awareness through our meditation. And by doing this, it really can make a significant influence in our life by being aware of what's going on in our mind and training our own mind. And this is just really a brief introduction into meditation and getting to know our mind.